right, let's do some work this evening. Let's do some administration work. Let's tie down some domain admin accounts. I was tasked today to tie down some admin accounts because just because this is best practice, and this is my checklist for today. Let me show you guys what we're gonna do. So I'm not gonna touch the group policy, password policy. I'm not gonna touch that because that's already coming up from the root, prepare it, the domain. So what I'm gonna do is it's called the fine grained password policy. In Active Directory, you guys will see. So the difference is it doesn't overwrite the default domain password policy, but it even though it says here override, but it does not override because it's gonna, let me rephrase it. It does override that password, but just for the particular domain admins, and you have to see once I start it. So this is good for this policy is good for groups and users. Admins require strong policies. Service accounts also need some settings. Of course, the executives have strict and unique policies. So the whole point is to, we all know that domain admin accounts are the main. Those are the most unrestricted. Those are the top of the line access. So we want to make sure we're safe, especially with everything that's going on around the world, getting hacked and they compromise. They do so much brutal force attacks. So let's keep our organization clean, right? All right, let's start. Let's get into our domain controller. And this is going to be a quick one because it's not a lot of people know how to do this, but those that know, that's why we're here for. Excuse me. It's straightforward, but you still have to be careful. You're dealing with your Active Directory, so that's your whole database of the company, right, where you have all your structure. So let's go ahead and open it. And I already have a handful of users, but since this is a home lab, but this is acting exactly like production. Everything I have set up is exactly how it's set up at work. Of course, not the same names and IPs and stuff. Okay, this is taking long because my domain had to reboot. And I keep forgetting I'll boost up the resources here. I should have this ready. Okay, no worries. Time is counting down. Okay, so here it goes. So we have our Active Directory open. Of course, I don't need Active Directory. I don't need users and computers. What I need to go do is I need to go into Active Directory Administrative Center. That's where we're going to make those changes. And this system needs to be rebooted, but that's another topic. We're still here where I have all my users. So I have, if you're managing Active Directory, you got to make sure your old users are organized and in a fashion way because you want to uniform them. So okay, so let's get started. So Active Directory Administrative Center is what you have to open up, and then you want to go into your domain. You will go into Systems, and then you go down to, let's maximize this, password, okay, am I forgetting this? Password setting container. And then once you get there, you click on that and then you say new password settings. That's where you're going to create the policy. And once you get this page, this is where you're going to start naming it. So I'm going to go ahead and do domain admins, and then precedence always needs to be at the priority 1. That's the highest. 1 is the highest, and then it goes to 5 and it lowers. But if you don't know about this, you have to Google this. This is very important. And then enforcement minimum password age 1. And this is where I'm going to change it to enforcement maximum password age, not at 42, because that's a little bit above 30 days. So we want to do a week. So we want to make the domain admins change their password weekly. We can tie it down to daily. That's how we had it at my previous position, but this is just an example. You can set it at 1 days or 10 days or whatever you guys are gonna, however you guys are gonna manage your domain. And then once you fill all this up right here, you want to add the group. See, it's right there, add. Domain admins. Once you hit that, then you see the OK. So this is exactly how you have to make it. And we're going to test it afterwards. You don't even need to, well, it's an instant thing. You don't even have to run GP update, because this is not the actual GPO. This is something different. And so let's go ahead and test it now. So let's go in, open up PowerShell. Of course, as admin. I already know a user. I have a user. His username is JJ. And then the command to test it. Tell me that. Okay, so it's gonna be. So it's gonna be get AD user result password policy, and then the name. If it was the admin, it would be the admin. But in this case, I know one, and this is gonna show me that it changed. I can put domain administrator. It's gonna show all of them, but right now I want to see one. So here's this user right here. This is a distinguished name right here. Right here in the bottom, the distinguished name is path. And here is the modification I did. 5 days right there. 5 days. That's what tells me that this is starting to work already. So if I wanted to change that, and let's just do a change just so we can make sure it's working. You can go, if say it didn't work out for 5 days and they want to be more strict, and your boss said no, let's do a day. So let's edit, and let's give them 1 day. So a daily, they need to change their their domain admin. Some users do it once. Some users do it once. Let's do 2. Some users use it daily. Okay, so enforce. Okay, I've never tried 1 day or 2 days. I don't know if there's a difference. 3 days. Let's do 3 days, because this is a test. So let's go back over here, and then let's run that same command. 3 days. Look at that. 3 days. So after the 3rd day, starting today, after the 3rd day, whoever uses domain admin accounts, if they're using an account that has a domain admin, is going to prompt them to change the password. And I can test it by logging in, but that's enough proof for me that this is working. Hopefully some of you guys learned something, because I do. All right, have a good night. All right, let's